Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Okay, so the next thing at its appropriate time, as I said, as I recommended, that, that people should go for Umrah. So remember, we are doing Hajj Tamattu here right now, as if they're doing it. Okay, there are two things that are the major acts of an Umrah. One is Tawaf and the other is Sa'i. And Tawaf is fard in Umrah and the Sa'i is Wajib. And people who know fiqh, they know what's the difference between fard and Wajib. And both are mandatory with a little slight difference. So let's put it this way, they're both mandatory parts of Umrah. Tawaf is circling around the Kaaba 7 times, and Sa'i is moving between Safa. There are 2 mountains called As-Safa and Al-Marwa 7 times. And both have to be done in the state of Ihram. Tawaf literally means to circle around. That's what Tawaf is. And in Sharia, it is to circle around Kaaba 7 times with an intention. What does it mean to circle around the Kaaba? If you look into the universe, everything is circling. If you look into the solar system, they're circling around, the planets are circling around the sun. If you have ever a chance to look at the galaxies, they're all circling around, counterclockwise. If you look into the core of the matter, which is an atom, you will see the electrons are also circling around, counterclockwise. Everything is moving in a counterclockwise direction. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the creation. This is a necessary element in the creation of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put this thing that the people go and circle around counterclockwise direction around His house. When somebody, it's not the appropriate good example, there are some crazy boys, they fall in love with a girl, and they will go and move around that place, so maybe she'll come out, they will be able to see the glimpse. That's what a lover does. So it's literally a lover circling around the house of the beloved. And it is literally like, what it does is, if it's done with the right state of the heart, if our hearts are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it acts like a washing machine. Like a washing machine, you put clothes in the washing machine and it spins and it takes out the filth. It's just that when people with the right state of their hearts, if they circle around the Kaaba, it extracts the filth of our hearts. It's a beautiful, beautiful worship that can only be done in Kaaba, when around the Kaaba. It cannot be done anywhere. Somebody gave, like in the time of Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, somebody gave divorce to his wife, and a conditional divorce, that a divorce here, if I'm not able to find a place, so he said that I divorce you on a condition that I'll be able to do some sort of worship that nobody else in the world will be doing at that time. People do crazy things. I don't know what state of mind people go to, but people do these sort of things. So eventually we realize, what did I do? How can I do a worship that nobody else in the world is doing that worship? So Imam Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi said to him, you go to Haram, Masjid al-Haram, and at that time there were very few people in the Haram. Literally you see like pictures, old pictures, 1800, late 1800 pictures. You will see, there will be like 10, 15, 20, 50 people, like very few people are in the Kaaba at certain times. He said you go to the Masjid al-Haram and beg people that, please allow me to do tawaf just by myself, if you can kindly, wait for 10 minutes. Because that will be the worship that nobody else will be doing at that time. Because tawaf can only be done in around the Kaaba. So it's a beautiful worship. What is necessary for tawaf is to be in state of wudu. It's mandatory to be in the state of wudu. Alright, so, and to make sure that you are in state of wudu before you enter the masjid, because in the masjid there is no place for wudu. And even outside the masjid, make sure that if you're coming from your hotel rooms, you are in the state of wudu, because the wudu areas around the haram are, first of all, they are quite a distance. Number two, they're very crowded. So make sure that you are in the state of wudu before entering into the masjid and before basically you come out of your hotel rooms. Then, when you again do all the things that I've asked you to do, like making dua, etc., etc. Now what you're doing is you are going to start the umrah and you are going to start the tawaf. Tawaf number one. Remember to recite talbiha all along. Alright? Still you can recite talbiha. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. And then when you look at the Kaaba, you locate the corner which has the cornerstone, Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone. And it is at one corner. And the way that you can identify that is the two, people have not been there. There are two things that you can do. Number one, that if you look around, like if you're in the mataf and you look around in the masjid, you will find that there are two minarets, like there are a pair of minarets, two. There's one side, there's only one minaret. Right? So there's only one minaret and there's not a pair. The corner that's right across that one minaret, that's where the Hajar Aswad is. Right? And also, you will see that right in the mataf area, so the mataf is is the courtyard, which is right in the middle, which is uncovered, where the Kaaba is. So right on the other side of the corner where the Hajar Aswad is, there is a green light. There's a green tube light that's there. So it's very visible, you can see that. Right? So that's where to find out, because it's very crowded, so might not be able to identify exactly. The other way is that there is Maqam Ibrahim and the door of the Kaaba, that wall where the door of the Kaaba is and the Maqam Ibrahim is right in front almost. So if, for example, the door is in front of you, the corner that is on your left, that's where the Hajar Aswad is. So there are different ways to find out where the Hajar Aswad is. So the tawaf begins at an, like say, imaginary line between Hajar Aswad and the green light. So if, say, for example, you draw a line, move on a few slides. This line. So this is Hajar Aswad. So if you draw this line that as I've put in here, just take a line, draw it all across to that green light. So you start your tawaf with this imaginary line. It's not a line there. It used to be, by the way, and they have removed that now for some reason. Allah knows best why. But, just make this imaginary line in your head, and then you start your tawaf from this imaginary line. Okay, what do? For the men, they do something called ittiba. Ittiba is that you take out the cloth, your upper cloth. So the ihram is basically, as I've said, two pieces of cloth, one that you tie as a lower garment, and the other is that you put it on the upper side, on the upper part of the body. So the upper cloth, what you do is that you take the cloth from beneath your right armpit and you put it on your left shoulder. So that your right shoulder is uncovered. Right? That is ittiba, exposing the right arm. It's only for men. Women, again, not doing anything. It's nothing special, and they're lucky, mashallah, in a way. Okay, this ittiba is just a general principle, and inshallah we'll cover where it is needed, but it is only needed in which there is a sa'i after the tawaf. If there is sa'i after the tawaf, then this needs to be done. So people have to be in state of ihram. Number two, there is a sa'i after the tawaf. In umrah, there is a sa'i after the tawaf. Okay, so what you do now? you go and, so let me go according to the slide. There is another terminology which is called ramal. Ramal is to walk upright in a light jogging position. So basically for men, it's only for men by the way. For men, you walk upright, like with your chest out in a slight jogging position. You're not running there, just like acting as if you're jogging. Right? Your fist tight, chest out, and as if you're jogging. It's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and it is only done during the first 3 rounds of the circle. So there are 7 rounds of tawaf. The 7 rounds of tawaf for the first 3 circles, with the ittaba, that is the right shoulder uncovered, you sort of act as if you're jogging with your fist tight, chest out. Alright, this was Prophet ﷺ did that in order to show to the mushrikeen that Muslims are strong. And because it's a sunnah, it should be done as a sunnah. So now what you do? You go towards the Kaaba, so that the Kaaba is on your left side, and you reach the corner where the cornerstone is, the Hajar Aswad, and you stand as if that imaginary line, which is from the corner of the Kaaba where the Hajar Aswad is to the green light at the back, and you stand so that your right shoulder is in the line of that imaginary line. Okay? So you stand facing the Kaaba so that your right shoulder is in line with that imaginary line from Hajar Aswad to that green light at the back. And you make an intention for tawaf. Okay, you make an intention for the tawaf. And then you raise hands as if you're making the takbir of the prayer. Right? And you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. That's the intention. So again, I repeat. So you stand facing the Kaaba so that the right shoulder is in line with that imaginary line that I said, from Hajar Aswad going back all to the green light. That's imaginary line, right? And you can only guess, right? Okay, this is where I am. And you make an intention of tawaf. And number 2, you raise your hand as if you're making takbir for the prayer, and you say Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. Even people say Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar, that's fine. If people don't remember, say Bismillah, it's fine. But this is what they should do. Okay, this is the like a model of the Kaaba. It's not like this. Basically, so now you can see this is cornerstone. To right in the front that we are showing is the cornerstone. This is the corner of the Kaaba where the cornerstone is. At the right there is the door, Babul Kaaba. Between the Babul Kaaba and the cornerstone is something called Multazim. Multazim is the place where the du'as are accepted. Prophet ﷺ sunnah was that he would go to the Multazim and he would hug the Multazim with his arms spread out. He would actually literally like attach to the Multazim, and he would turn so that his right cheek would be touching the Kaaba, and he'd cry like babies. Just like if a baby hugs his mother and he cries, that's how Prophet ﷺ used to do that, and du'as are accepted at this place. If you go towards the left, this corner, like so left from the Hajar Aswad in this particular diagram that I'm showing here, the leftmost corner of Kaaba, here is a place which is called Rukn Yamani, or Rukn Yamani. Okay, and I'll tell you what do you have to do with Rukn Yamani. Rukn Yamani, basically we don't do anything, I mean because of the crowd, but if people are able to move right across the Kaaba, right next to the Kaaba, then they do something, but you don't worry about that. All what you need to know is that this corner has something called Rukn Yamani. Alright? So this is Rukn Yamani right in this diagram, which is in the leftmost corner, and the corner that's right in the front has the Hajar Aswad, and then on the right there's like Multazim, and then the Babul Kaaba, the door of the Kaaba, and you go all the way to the right, and you can see in the corner there's something called Hatim. Hatim is a semicircle sort of a pillar, a small pillar which is in the shape of a semicircle. And whatever is in the Hatim is part of the Kaaba, by the way. So people get the chance to pray inside the Hatim. It is as if they are praying inside the Kaaba. This is part of the Kaaba. So tawaf is done around the Kaaba and it is done around the Hatim. So there is no tawaf from inside the Hatim because tawaf is around the Kaaba. So Hatim is part of the Kaaba, so it has to be done around the Hatim as well. Alright? People understood this picture? Okay, so now you have made the intention. How did you make the intention? Facing the Kaaba, right shoulder in line of the imaginary line that I'm showing here again, and then making an intention, raising hands as if raising the hands in takbir of the prayer and saying Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. Now you move a little bit towards your right. And it all has to be done very quickly, my friends. It's going to be very crowded. You cannot just stay there, stand there. People will come and push you and, throw you on the ground. It has to be done in instant, like in a second. Alright? And then what you do is that you move a little bit right, to your right, so that now you're right in front of the Hajar Aswad. And you turn so that the Kaaba is on your left. Okay, now you're not facing the Kaaba, you turn towards your right, you are right in front of Hajar Aswad, and you are facing basically the direction of the flow, counterclockwise direction. And then you turn your chest and your face only. You turn your chest and your face towards the Hajar Aswad. You stretch your arms so that your palms are facing the black stone and the back of your palms are facing your face. Right? So raise your hands, both your hands stretched it towards the Hajar Aswad. The palms are facing the Hajar Aswad and the back is facing your face. And you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you kiss your right hand. Okay, once more. So now you've made your intention, right? Now you turn towards the direction of the flow, that you turn towards your right, take a step forward so that you're right in front of the cornerstone, right? And then you turn towards your chest and your face only, not turn all of yourself, just turn your chest and your face towards Hajar Aswad. And arms stretched so that the palms are facing Hajar Aswad, the back of the palm is facing your face, and just say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you kiss your hand. The palm, okay? It is basically what it is called istilam. And istilam is the equivalent of kissing the black stone. So ideally the sunnah is to kiss the black stone. But because of the crowd, it's not possible, and none of you should even try that. Please. Because what will happen is that, you will either hurt somebody or somebody will hurt you. And hurting any Muslim is haram. And kissing the black stone is sunnah. So you cannot do a haram thing in order to get a sunnah, get the reward of the sunnah. Right? This is why fuqaha have come up with all of these definitions, haram, this is wajib, this is sunnah, mustahab. So please do not even try to go near the black stone. It's very crowded and it's very hard. So this is the equivalent of kissing the black stone. Alright? So then you kiss your hand and then you move back your chest and your hand towards the direction of the flow and start the tawaf. So start moving in the counterclockwise direction around the Kaaba. Couple of things. It is disliked to look at the Kaaba while doing tawaf. So what you should be doing at this point is that totally engage your heart in the remembrance of Allah. As if you are in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showering His light, His mercy on the Kaaba, and it is getting reflected from the Kaaba, it's entering your heart. This should be your state. Try to absorb all that mercy, that light, those tajalliyat that are coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Kaaba and are getting reflected. And subhanallah, if you look into this act of tawaf and all of Hajj basically, this is very amazing that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants a separation between men and women. Hijab. Hijab is not a scarf around the head. Hijab means a barrier. Allah ta'ala wants that there is a barrier between the men and the women. Even if it comes down to worship, the first the men are in the front, women are at the back. The first row of men is the best and the last row of women is the best. It's even more rewarding for men to pray in their homes as compared to going into the masjid. Right? This is what our Sharia says. When it comes down to tawaf, sa'i, hajj, everybody is there. But so much so that there are women who will be brushing against you, they will come and push you. What's happening? Why is Sharia not considering that here? The thing is that Allah Ta'ala wants that our hearts are so engrossed in the connection with Allah, in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that don't even know who the person next to you is. This should be the state of our heart. Totally connected with Allah. We should not even know that the person walking next to me is a woman or a man, or a child, or an old man, or a young man. Just forget about everybody. Remember Allah Ta'ala. Connect with Allah. And that's why it's even makruh to look at the Kaaba at that time. It's a worship to look at the Kaaba with love. But we are not circling the Kaaba. We are circling the Kaaba, but our hearts are circling the presence of Allah. That's why it's even disliked to look at the Kaaba while doing tawaf. Totally engross yourself in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright, very important thing. Make sure that your gaze is down. You're not looking at any man or any woman. Men for men and women, women for men and men for women. And even men should not be even looking at the women. Sorry, men. Your bell disturbed me, man. Men should not be even looking at men, and women should not be even looking at women. Why? What's the point? Look at what you are doing. Forget about what the other person is doing. Just connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know that talbiyah ended before starting the tawaf, right? Remember that. No talbiyah. Make dua to Allah. I mean, I said, when you connect to Allah, these 7 circles, the best thing that you can do is that you make dua to Allah in your own language with the depth of your heart. That's the best thing that I can recommend you. Anything can be done, dhikr, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, if you know, memorize, if you are hafiz of the Quran, recite Quran, you can do whatever. But the best thing I would say that you do is that you ask Allah Ta'ala at that time. Just make dua, whatever comes into your heart. I think, our du'as will not finish in those 7 circles. If you really need to ask Allah Ta'ala every single thing that we do. But do whatever, everything is allowed, no talbiyah though. Right? Plan in your head, again and again, make sure that you know what you're doing, what you want to do. Right? You don't want to lose out. These are the lifetime opportunities, my friend. Okay, now Rukn Yamani. When you say start from the cornerstone, the Hajar Aswad, the black stone, and you move in the counterclockwise direction, and you will go all around the Hatim. This is Hatim on the right here in this diagram, and you go all around, and then you reach this place, this corner on the left hand side, the left top corner here in this diagram is Rukn Yamani, as I explained in the other diagram as well. Rukn Yamani, if people are next to the Kaaba, which possibly won't be, then you can touch with your right hand or both palms and you can kiss your hands. You can do the istilam of Rukn Yamani. But if you are at a far off distance from Rukn Yamani, there is nothing that should be done. Nothing that should be done. Well, you will see, but should not see, but if you may see people, they are doing also the istilam of Rukn Yamani. There is no istilam of Rukn Yamani. There is no kissing of the Rukn Yamani from a distance. It's only if you are next to it and you touch it and you kiss your hands. Okay, from Rukn Yamani to Hajar Aswad, this wall on the left here. The sunnah is to recite the dua, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. This is the sunnah to recite this dua when doing the tawaf in front of this wall, between Rukn Yamani and Hajar Aswad. I can't remember exactly, but there comes in a hadith, there are almost, I think, 70,000 angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed only at this wall, who says Ameen to the people who make dua in front of this wall. Alright? And just tell you one more thing. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, before, when he was in Mecca, before the Hijrah, he always wanted the Kaaba to be Qibla. And Kaaba wasn't the Qibla. He loved right? And the Kaaba, the Qibla was Baytul Muqaddas. So if you pray facing this wall, right here. This is the north. So the right of this diagram is the north. And if you pray like here, you will see this haram, the Kaaba will come, and you keep going, then the Medina Munawwara will come, and you keep going, the Baytul Muqaddas will come. Prophet ﷺ loved this place. And he used to go and pray facing Baytul Muqaddas, but in front of this side of the wall. Right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when he accepted, فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا, that I have appointed the Qibla that you love, that you like. So Prophet ﷺ loved the Kaaba to be the Qibla. Alright? So this is a beautiful, so even like later on, if you get time, whenever after the Hajj, come and sit right here next to it and make dua. There are 70,000 angels. I think that's a number. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what it is. That Allah Ta'ala has appointed just to say Ameen to the dua of the people who make dua in front of this wall. And Prophet ﷺ sunnah was to make dua, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Because this dua is such a comprehensive dua that it includes every single thing, all the goods of this dunya and the hereafter. Alright, so you start, so again, you come in front of, after the first circle, you will come in front of the cornerstone. So do the same. When you come in the cornerstone, you turn your chest and your face toward the cornerstone, arms stretched out, palms towards Hajar Aswad, back of the palms toward your face. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, kiss your hand, Istilam number 2. Alright, so in end of the first circle, now you have done your Istilam how many number of times? 2. Right? And so this is the completion of the circle number 1. And then you do the same thing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And after the, 6, 7, apologies, so 7 circles. And so at the end of the 7th circle, you again do Istilam. So that will make it 8 Istilams in total. Right? One right at the start and one right at the end, and after every circle, that will make it 8 Istilams. Remember, Istawa, that is uncovering your right shoulder, right arm for men only, and of course Ramal, which was like a jogging-like motion for first 3 circles only for first 3 circles. Alright, remember those 2 things. And make sure that you're not really jogging, number 1. Number 2, if you have family with you, make sure you're just acting like jogging. Make sure that your wife, your dependents are next to you. Don't lose them, please, because then it will be very difficult to get them later on. And after the tawaf, then the iqtada is done. That's completed. So that means that right after your tawaf is done, after your 7 circles, after the 8th istilam, you recover your right shoulder again. Alright? Then what you do? The next thing is that you have to pray 2 rak'ahs of wajib tawaf. These 2 rak'ahs are wajib. Wajib in Hanafi school is next to mandatory. It's almost full. With a little bit of course, with a little bit of difference. I'm not going to get into the difference inshallah right now. Alright, so it is done ideally at Maqam Ibrahim. Maqam Ibrahim, as you can see in this picture, it is almost right in front of the door of the Kaaba. Maqam Ibrahim, in this place, there is a stone on which Sayyidina Ibrahim a.s. stood up in order to build the Kaaba. And you can see basically the footsteps of Sayyidina Ibrahim a.s. engraved on that stone. Alright? But, few things. Most probably, you will not find a place near Maqam Ibrahim. Do not even try to pray near Maqam Ibrahim. In front of this wall of Kaaba, go all the way back, right like where the mataf is ending. Practical point, recommendation, is that you go and pray there. So that will inshallah be counted as if you're praying next at Maqam Ibrahim. Alright, don't block the mataf, don't block the people making tawaf. Even if you don't find the space in mataf, which is the courtyard, maybe you can go into the masjid, pray wherever. Please do not block people. Alright? The sunnah of reciting, of doing this prayer is again the same as the prayer of the ihram, which is reciting Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun in the first rak'ah, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad in the second rak'ah, and make a lot of dua after making these two rak'ahs. This is the time of the acceptance of du'as. Next thing, the next sunnah is to drink Zamzam. One place where you can find Zamzam is if you go right, like at the back of, in front of Maqam Ibrahim, there are taps of Zamzam right there. Many taps. So maybe that's one of the places where you can go and drink Zamzam. Drink as much Zamzam as possible. Or, yeah, so drink as much as you can. Drinking Zamzam while standing is sunnah. Alright? So the sunnah to drink the normal water is sitting. So we should always drink our water while sitting. With Bismillah, of course, starting with Bismillah and 3 sips. For Zamzam is sunnah to stand and drink and facing the Qibla. And after you're done with drinking, also wipe a little bit over your face or over your body. It's a very blessed water. And this is the dua to drink Zamzam. It is Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan wasi'an wa shifa min kulli da. That, oh Allah, grant me the beneficial knowledge. What is beneficial knowledge? Anybody? Sorry?
Knowledge that you practice.
Yeah, knowledge that you practice. You can have a whole day seminar, but if you go back and try to do whatever you feel like, that's not beneficial knowledge. That's some information. And Prophet ﷺ used to make dua that, oh Allah, grant me beneficial knowledge. وَرِزْقًا وَاسِعًا, and grant me vast risk, vast provision, and وَشِفَا مِن كُلِّ دَاءٍ, and grant me the cure from all diseases. And there's also a beautiful hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, الْمَاءُ زَمْزَمْ لِمَا شُرِبَ لَهُ, that it is for whatever you drink it for. So you have whatever need, you drink Zamzam with that intention, you get that. You want to become a hafiz, you want to increase your memory, just drink Zamzam, that I'm drinking with the intention to increase my memory, you inshallah will get that. You have some disease, and you want to get cure for that disease, you drink Zamzam with the intention that, I want to get cure for this disease, you will get the cure. You want the cure for your spiritual diseases, drink Zamzam with an intention, Ya Allah, cure my spiritual diseases, you'll get the cure inshallah. And make dua to Allah that, Ya Allah, the way that you have quenched our thirst, also quench our spiritual thirst. That is your love. Alright, so a few points. All the tawaf, all the rounds of the tawaf should be done consecutively in the state of wudu. If for some reason the wudu breaks before four circles, then you have to go redo your wudu, because wudu is necessary, and you have to start over from number 1. If you break after 4, then you can go make your wudu and can restart from the place where you have left it off. Okay? It is okay to perform tawaf on the 2nd and the 3rd floors, but know that the circle would be very long. It will possibly take 10 minutes at least for you to perform one circle. So that means 10 into 7, 1 hour, 10 minutes to perform the whole tawaf. It will be very tiring. So I also recommend that if there are still few days, so you go and practice walking. Alright? So your muscles are tuned to walking. Okay, if you're confused how many number of rounds you have done, go with a certainty. If you feel, oh, it's 4 or 5, don't know. 4 is certain, so take 4. Alright? As on a practical point, if you drop something while doing tawaf, forget it. Until it's your passport. Right? Don't like, if it's like a 5 reals, forget about 5 reals. Because if you bend down, it's so much crowd, somebody will push you, you will fall, and they will step over you. That's what happens. That's how stampede happens in Hajj, right? Anytime you're in crowd, don't bend down, because if they push you, they will fall. Okay, if again I said, to make sure that you make sure there's no prayer that's coming, but for some reason you are there when there's Jamaat happening, the congregational prayer is happening, then you just do your fard, and then you make sure that you resume your tawaf. Husband and wife should not hold hands or touch physically. It's possible that wife can hold on to the ihram of the husband, but ideally, because you never know, because the thing is, remember, any sort of romance is not allowed, and if there's any sort of feeling in the heart by holding hands, then that's one from the forbidden acts of ihram. Alright? So to avoid that. Make sure no cell phones. Of course, that goes with, that you are connected with Allah. No, the people who are reciting out loud, people are doing crazy things. Forget about every single person. Just make sure you are connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next thing is called sa'i. So what you do is that after you are done with tawaf, 2 rakats wajib tawaf. Again, sorry, for wajib tawaf, remember one thing, that it cannot be done again at the makruh times. Alright? After Asr can't be done, you have to wait until after Maghrib. You have to make sure it's not at the sunrise, you have to make sure it's not when the sun is at peak, make sure it's not right before the sunset. Right? So remember, that's why planning is necessary. Make sure you plan exactly every single thing. As I said, I've recommended, do it at night, right? So that, there's no fear of prayers, makruh times, this, that. Alright, so then, what you do is that you do sa'i. Sa'i literally means to run, to make an effort. And it is to going between Safa and Marwa 7 times. Alright? And this is not a worship on its own. You cannot just go and say, I feel like doing sa'i today. You can do tawaf, you can do tawaf, but sa'i is not a worship of its own. It is joined, it's tied with the tawaf. Right? Wherever it is necessary. Okay, so what you do is after drinking Zamzam, 2 rakats wajib tawaf, drinking Zamzam, and then you come back in the line, in that imaginary line that I was telling you about, and right in front of the Hajar Aswad, and you do the 9th istilam. 9th istilam. Same way that you have done the 8 istilams in the tawaf, then you also do your the 9th istilam. And then you go to sa'i, to do sa'i, and you start with Safa. There are boards in there that says, Safa is here, sa'i starts here, something that's all in English and Arabic, it's also in Urdu, I think, and Persian, in Turkish. There are many languages that are in whatever you feel like. Right? So this says sa'i starts here, Safa is here, whatever, I can't remember. But it tells you. So it is basically the sa'i, it starts with the Safa, and Safa is right behind that green light that I was telling you about. Right in front of the cornerstone is almost right behind that. It's right behind that. So, don't look around, people are going for the first time, where is Safa? It's almost right behind that green light in the mataf, right across the cornerstone, Hajar Aswad is almost behind that. So once you go there, you will find the way to go there. And also, the Safa Marwa, mashallah, they have done 3 levels now, I think. 3 levels? Yeah? Or 2? 2? Okay, there are 2 levels. We're building 3.
3.
Whatever, 2 or 3. I would recommend all of you, just a recommendation, so don't mix with he said, to do it for the 2nd level. And then somebody will say, who told it? Give me the dalil. That's what the common thing is. Where is the dalil to do it on the 2nd level? It's just a recommendation, my friends. I would recommend you to do it at the 2nd level, because the 1st level is very crowded. The first means the ground level. It's very, very crowded. So I would recommend that you go to the 2nd level. If you're not able to find the way to the 2nd level, do it, but it's very crowded. It's very, very you have to be very careful doing it at the 1st level. Alright, so you go, proceed to the Safa. Alright, and there's a dua to recite, you don't have to, just make an intention. Okay, this picture is the picture of the Safa. So basically now you don't see the mountains anymore. They have like maintained a few like just some sha'air, some signs of Safa, but you cannot ride, these days you cannot ride the Safa. I mean, people could like basically climb on Safa one few years ago, but not anymore. So you go there and there's like a slope, an upward slope. That upward slope means that this is the start of the Safa. So you climb that a little bit. Alright, you climb it a little bit, and then you face the Qibla. You make an intention for Sa'i first of all, in your own language. Just I'm going to go do Sa'i, make it easy for me and accept it from me. And then it's in Arabic as well, whatever you want. Allahumma inni uridu sa'ya bayna safa wal marwata sab'ata ashwatin lillahi ta'ala fayassirhu li wa taqabbalhu minni. Right? And then you face the Kaaba and raise both hands to the shoulders as if you're making dua. As you're making dua, right? Not facing the Qibla, just as if you're making dua, and say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah 3 times, send the durood on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make dua. This is also the time of the acceptance of dua. Okay? And then from Safa you head towards Marwa, which is the next mountain. And there are 2 lanes, alright? Okay, this is the picture. So there are 2 lanes, one on the right, one on the left. So the right lane, you move into the right lane, and that takes you to Marwa. That takes you to Marwa. And there is no specific thing that you have to recite between the Sa'i. Just make sure that there are the green lights. You can see this, there are green lights. There's the start of the green light, and there's the end of the green light. So there's green light at the start and there's green light at the end. When passing through these 2 marks, the start of the green light and the end of the green light, the men, only the men, they have to run. They have to run at that pace. Make sure you're not sprinting and you're not leaving your family behind. Be with your family, but act as if you're running. Okay, this is the mark. Basically, I mean, again, unfortunately we don't have much time to go into the history, but as we know that Sayyidah Hajra alayhi salam, when she left her baby, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, in the desert, and she was looking out for water, she climbed the Safa to search for water, and then she came down and she went to Marwa to look out for water. And when she was between these 2 green lights, basically where she could not see the baby, and how is he doing? So she actually ran through these 2 places, and again she started looking at the baby, and she started walking properly. Allah Ta'ala accepted. This is acceptance. This is acceptance. Allah Ta'ala accepted that of her act so much that Allah Ta'ala made it mandatory upon every person who's going to Hajj or Umrah that you also do the same act. SubhanAllah. So men run between these 2 green lights. Women walk slowly, properly, because against the proper hijab. That they should not be running. Alright? So there are 7 circles. So 7 is, from Safa to Marwa is 1, from Marwa back to Safa is 2. Alright? So that's how you count 7. So it's not the complete circle from Safa, Marwa, Safa, it's not 1. So Safa to Marwa is 1, Marwa back to Safa is 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at the 7th circle, you end at Marwa. At each and every place, like at Safa and at Marwa, face the Qibla, do the same thing, raise your hands, say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and make dua. These are all places of the acceptance of dua. Alright? There are some du'as that are written here. Inshallah, you can read that on your own, inshallah. So, with this, the rites of the Umrah, the rituals of the Umrah are finished. What is left is now that if you are doing Hajj Tamattu', what you do is that you do either something called halaq or qasr. Halaq is the shaving of the head, and qasr is the trimming of the head. And know that the halaq the shaving of the head has 3 times more reward than the qasr. Alright, so it has 3 times more reward than the qasr, so I recommend every single person to do halaq. A man, of course. For women, what they should do is, okay, if you are doing qasr, then at least, I'll come to that. Let me go step by step. Okay, as per the slides, inshallah. Okay. It is sunnah to do all rounds of the sa'i together. It is permissible to take a break to drink water. And again, if a prayer comes in between, then you have to stand up for prayers. And the safs are made right there. Again, if unsure number of rounds, go with the lower number. Husband, wife, try not to hold hands or touch physically, again with that fear, and try to perform on your own strength, not wheelchairs. Wudu is not a wajib thing for sa'i, all is preferred. So if somebody breaks wudu during sa'i, they don't have to go back, redo their wudu and come back to restart their sa'i. They can continue with their sa'i, alright? Wudu is not mandatory for sa'i, know that. Don't exert yourself, oh, I've broken my wudu during sa'i, then go all the way back, like spend an hour, come back with wudu and start doing it. It's not a necessary element. It's preferable, not a necessary element. Alright? Okay, if people are doing qasr, then basically the cutting of the hair, although as I said, the halaq, which is shaving, is better for men, then at least 1 inch of each hair of the head. It's not like you take one portion and you cut 1 inch and say my qasr is complete. No. From all the head, at least 1 inch. Alright? That's what the qasr is. If people don't have hair, then at least, take a razor and pass it over your bald skin. Okay? There are many barber shops around. Don't worry about that. Ask people where are the barber shops. And, they're very quick, mashallah. For women, they have to trim slightly more than 1 inch from each area of the head. What does it mean? So what they do is, if the hair from the back, they split it into 3, right? So divide it into 3, right, middle, and left. And then you take the grouping of the right, cut a little bit of more than an inch, then from the middle, cut a little bit more than an inch, and from the left, cut a little bit more than an inch, right? And it should be cut by either mahram or females. Of course, in private, people should not be looking at your hair. And there are no places, no barber shops for women, by the way. They have to do it by themselves, or by their mahrams. Once people cut their hair or shave their head, the ihram is lifted. If you are doing Hajj Qiran with one ihram, then there is no cutting, no shaving. So you stay in ihram, in the state of ihram. So what takes you out of the state of ihram is this, also on the halaq. Alright? Okay, then if you have some time in Makkah Mukarramah, then try to pray all the prayers with the congregation. Know that from the hadith that every prayer with congregation in that place is 100,000 times more than the normal prayers. Women, it's okay if they want to come. It's very crowded. It's very, very crowded. If they want to come, fine. If they pray in their hotel rooms, it's fine. Don't worry, you are inshallah getting the reward. And make sure that, the one thing that's very problematic during the Hajj times is because so much crowded that, the men and women are very close to each other. Sometimes they are just moving and, Iqamah starts and, there's a woman standing right next to you. It's very difficult. So at least if this sort of situation arises, then make sure that there's at least a difference, a separation of one person between you and that woman. There should not be touching together. At least so much space that a person can come and stand in the middle. If some other person, another man comes and tries to stand in the middle, it's his issue, it's not your issue. You make sure that you are not next to the women, and women should also make sure that you're not next to the men. Alright? Okay, as I said, فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. Make sure that every single intention of the sin is also recorded there. It's very, very dangerous. As I said in the beginning, make sure that you play well. Make sure that you are automatically selected. Make sure that you're not underperforming there. The blunder that people do, literally shooting at their own feet is that you turn on these shaitani screen in their hotel rooms. Please, I beg you, please avoid that. Also cell phones, if you have music as your ringtone, please make it normal ringtone. No music, no TV, nothing, no sin, no looking. There are men, there are women walking around, have your gaze down. Right? قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Tell the believing men lower their gaze. Tell the believing women lower their gaze. Lower your gaze. Don't look out. Don't look at people. Right? Please make sure that no backbiting, no complaints, no sins, no lies, no cheating, no arguing, nothing. Don't spoil your Hajj. Don't spoil your Hajj. What is the best to do is, if you have time, go perform as many tawaf as possible. Normal tawaf is normal tawaf. There is no tawaf, there is no ramal. It's a normal tawaf, but know that there are two wajib of tawaf after every tawaf. They're wajib, they're mandatory. There has to be 2 rakahs prayed after the tawaf. Make sure no makruh times. Please make sure that. Also, there's, you can go visit around if you have time. Your group can take you. Make sure that you're not overexerted because your goal is not completed. What is the goal? Hajj. Make sure that you are saving your energy for Hajj. Don't be overexcited. Sleep, rest properly. Make sure that you use your common sense. People are overexcited, and when it comes down to the main thing, people are so exerted, people get sick, make sure that you are using your common sense. Alright? Do you need a break, or are we okay? Brothers, sisters, okay, yes, no, what do you want?
Okay, right.
Huh? You can pray us a little bit later, inshallah. Pray the floor. Can we continue? Yes? Jazakallah. Alright, on the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, there is a sermon, there is a khutbah that's done in the masjid after Dhuhr, which describes the commandments of the Hajj and all of that. Try to attend that, even if you don't know Arabic. Don't worry about that. Just for the barakah of it. Just go and stand. Okay, now comes Hajj, the most important thing of our life possibly. There are 5 days of Hajj or 6. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? And I'll tell you why. So, either 5 or 6. Day 1, 8th of Dhul Hijjah. So what is done on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, that first of all, that we go to a place called Mina. And this diagram, if you can see that. So this is Makkah Mukarramah, and there's a place called Mina, which is almost 4 to 5 kilometers from Makkah Mukarramah. And then if you continue with this, then the other places that people go to during the days of Hajj are called Muzdalifah and Arafat. Arafat is the Hajj. I'll cover that inshallah. So Mina is the place where the 3 Jamarat are, the 3 places where people pelt stones at. Inshallah we'll cover that as well. But that's in Mina. So the closest is Mina, and from Mina to Muzdalifah is almost 6 to 7 kilometers. And from Muzdalifah to Arafat is almost 8 to 9 kilometers. So you see there's not much distance. Right? But subhanAllah, if you go from Makkah to Mina, it may take you 3-4 hours in bus. If you walk, maybe it'll take you 1 hour. That I would recommend you to be with the group, because you don't know where your tents are. Once you know your tents, then you can do whatever. And also similarly, it takes a lot of time in the bus because it's jam-packed. It's like buses are literally not moving. Very, very hard. So on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, what you do is you go to Mina, but before that, you put on your ihram. And you put on your ihram exactly the same way that you had put on for your Umrah. Alright, no difference. Same mustahabbat, clipping of the nails, shaving of the pubic hair, shaving of the armpit hair, taking a shower, etc., etc., whatever we have covered. And then you put on the ihram, make the intention, same way, but now the intention is different. Intention is what? That you are putting on the ihram for Hajj. And make dua, may Allah make it easy. Same, you enter into the state of ihram with what? With talbiha. Make sure talbiyah is necessary, because you do not enter into the state of ihram. Talbiyah is how many times mandatory, how much is sunnah? One mandatory, 3 sunnahs. And men do it out loud, women do it with the tongue, but with a low tone, with a low voice, but it has to be with the tongue. Alright? Then the group will take you to Mina. It is sunnah to leave after sunrise, but if people take you later, it's okay. But you do not do anything. Let the group leader be with the group, let the group take care of you. The group leader will take care of you, you do whatever you are supposed to do with the flow. Alright? To go to Mina, leave everything behind, if they allow you to leave things, except a sleeping bag, an extra pair of clothes, towels, medications, etc., but necessary things. Don't take your 20 kilo suitcases with you if you don't want them. Okay, recite talbiyah all along when traveling to Mina. This is like, look, this is an aerial view of Mina, subhanAllah. Now you can realize, visualize that. If your tent is right in the middle here, and there are like hundreds of thousands of tents here, they are all tents, these white things are tents. If your tent is here, just imagine how you can never find this tent, and know that you once you reach there, you know the landmarks around that tent, know your tent number. If you have your iPhones with you, I'm not promoting iPhones by the way, if you have GPS, know your GPS location, do whatever, but make sure that you know where your tent is. Okay? Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Vessels may take a long time. They may start right after Fajr, on the 8th, may arrive right before Dhuhr. Maybe it takes 5 hours, who knows. Just recite talbiyah, do your zikr, engage yourself in your muraqabah, in your connection with Allah. Just be focused on Allah. And the tents are separate for men and women. Normally the group, the tents are right next to each other. Normally that happens. But there is separate assignment for your group. I don't know, Allah Alam, but this is normally what it happens. There is very limited space in the tent. So what will happen in the tent? There will be mattresses all over the ground. Okay, so you go and take one mattress. Just assign one your mattress, but just put your luggage on your mattress. Just take the space that is equal to one mattress. Don't try to push other people, I want this space, that space. Don't worry. Just make sure you are accommodating for everybody, humble, nice, friendly. Take one mattress worth of space, and then, this is your space for the next few days. Alright? Be happy with that. It's mustahab to pray 5 prayers. So for example, you start after sunrise. So you pray Dhuhr there, Asr there, Maghrib there, Isha there, and the next Fajr at Mina. Alright? Again, Hanafi school, no combination of prayers. If you follow the Hanafi school and your group is following Shafi'i school, for example, they are combining. You don't need to combine. You pray at your own time. But shortened, of course. They are shortened prayers. Alright? If your stay is, they're shortened prayers. Alright? Pray sunnah, pray namaz. You have enough time. All what you're doing is just praying there. Do dhikr, do muraqabah, do whatever.
Prayers shortened but not. It's the other way around.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Well, mashallah. Yeah, that's an error. Prayers not combined but shortened. There's an error in the slide. Please correct this. Prayers not combined but shortened. And again, you will find some opinions in there as well, but I don't want to go into that because they say now Mina is part of Makkah. Some people are staying more than 15 days in Makkah, inclusive of the Hajj days, etc., etc. So if you are total of your stay in Makkah and the Hajj days is less than 15 days, you don't need to worry because you are a traveler. So you shorten, right? But no combination in Hanafi school. And if you're following any other school, do whatever you feel like. Alright, pray sunnahs, pray nawafil, as I said. Pray, keep praying and doing the talbih, okay? Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. And starting on the Fajr of the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the next day, know that you start reciting the takbirat of tashriq. Even people who are not in Hajj, you recite, these are the ayyam of tashriq. So people recite the takbirat of tashriq after every Fard Salah. It's a wajib. What is this takbir of tashriq? Who can tell me? Yeah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. These are, it's a wajib to say it at least once, and 3 is sunnah. With voice, with out loud, women again saying it slowly. It's wajib after every 4th prayer. Okay? Okay, so all what you're doing is this. Your prayers, your dhikr, your muraqbah, your tasbih, your talbihah, and you are basically getting ready for the next day, which is the key in your life, which is the it becomes the means of the forgiveness of your sins if Allah Ta'ala accepts that. This is just a view of how it looks like in Mina. The toilets, okay, another thing. Make sure that, toilets are very few, not very few, there are quite a few, but, there are long lines outside the toilet. Be patient. Be patient. You have to do, and so make sure that you are, and as soon as you get time, I would recommend you go and refresh yourself. Don't wait until the last moment, you can't control it, and you're rushing, and there's a half an hour wait. And you will be, doing whatever. Please, plan it well. Okay? Don't start knocking at the door, somebody's inside. That's, people do it very, very, frequently. People are knocking at the doors, come out, and the other person. And if you go into the toilet, just forget about all the knocking. Just take don't take all of your time, but, don't worry about that. It's normal. People will be knocking. Don't get distracted. Keep your focus. Second day, 9th of Dhul Hijjah, is the key thing. What you do is you leave for Arafat after sunrise. Some groups may take you before sunrise. Some people take you maybe at the night between 8th and 9th. All what groups are doing is because they're so crowded, they want to avoid the crowd. Don't start arguing with them, it's not sunnah, it's not right, it's not this, it's not that. Do what the group is doing. These are the sunnahs which are highly, highly recommended, but don't leave the group because you don't know where your tent is in Arafat. Don't try to go and find it yourself. You will be lost. Alright, and you do not want to waste this very day. So once you arrive in Arafat, this is a view of Arafat. And you can see, again, there's a sea of people. There's a sea of people, you don't want to be lost in there. Okay, so don't try to be smart. Don't try to be strong. If you're on your own, I don't recommend. But especially if you're with anybody, don't do anything. And this is, Arafah is the key pillar of the Hajj. If people miss this, there is no Hajj. Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Hajju Arafah. That our Hajj is Arafah. And there's something called wuquf. Wuquf means to station your heart, to literally stand still. That's what wuquf. So wuquf of Arafah is the wajib, is necessary. It is something that people need to do. Alright? So what should be done is at least one moment between the zawal. Zawal is when the sun is at its peak. That's right before Dhuhr. And the dawn of the 10th. One moment between these two times, have to spend at least 1 second in there. That's what wuquf is. And it is necessary. And also is wajib, that's what, right? That's a key pillar. That's a rukn of the Hajj. That's a pillar. Without that, Hajj is not valid. And it is wajib to remain at Arafat until the sunset. If people do not leave before sunset, because some groups start moving before sunset, To stay in the bus is okay, it's not a bad thing. But if the bus takes you out of the boundaries of Arafat before sunset, then you have to sacrifice in order to compensate for that. Okay? There is a place in Arafat called Jabal al-Rahma. This is a place where Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam re-met with Sayyida Hawa alayhi salam. Right? So this is a mountain in there. So just like you don't need to be there, wuquf ideally can be done around that mountain, but if that mountain is far away from your tent, don't even think about going there. If it's close to your tent, it's good to go there instead, do your wuquf there. So how to do wuquf? Wuquf is basically it's standing still, right? Physically standing still. And the idea is that, oh Allah, I'm standing still physically. Please also make my heart still in your remembrance. Oh, Ya Allah, make my wuquf, the wuquf of my qalb as well, wuquf of my heart as well in your remembrance. That's what the goal is. And it begins at the zawal, as I said, the wuquf, the right. And again, ideal situation, there is a masjid called Masjid Nimra. Masjid Nimra, or Namra, whatever, it is a masjid where there is a khutbah of Hajj. The Imam, he delivers a khutbah. Azan is called. There are two khutbahs. There is an iqamah and they pray Zuhr, and there is an iqamah and they pray Asr, and no sunnahs or for either prayer are offered. That is in Masjid of Nimra. So if you happen to be next to Masjid Nimra, then you go there and follow the Imam. So there is no combination by yourself, but if you have Masjid Nimra, then you follow the Imam and you combine the prayer. Okay? And then if Jabal Rahma is closed as well, then you go for wuquf. That is bid'ah to climb that. Some people climb that. It's bid'ah, it's not a sunnah. Alright? There's also flagstone that marks the location where the Prophet ﷺ, he did his wuquf. But don't worry about all of that, because to see, if you get to know Masjid Nimra is like, say, a couple of kilometers, don't try to go there. If your mountain, Jabal Rahma is like 2 kilometers down, don't try to go there. You can do your wuquf in your own tent, or outside your own tent. Alright? If you're praying alone, and you follow Hanafi school, you pray Zuhr at its time, and you pray Asr at its time. There is no combination. Alright? And it's also sunnah to do ghusl as well, but again, don't worry for that, because there are very few places where you can take bath. And you of course, if there is a need, for example, women coming out of their cycles, they have to purify themselves. It's also sunnah to take shower, but again, these are all good, but with 4 million people there, do what makes sense. If there is Jummah, there is Friday, in Arafat there is no Friday prayer. It's only Dhuha. Alright? This wuquf is a worship. What the best is that you stand in the sun. You stand in the sun, although sitting and lying permissible. Sitting and lying is permissible, but the lying is lying down, basically, not lying. Lying is haram, L-Y-I-N-G. It's just like wuquf basically should be done sitting or standing. And it should be ideally in the sun. And you make dua, because this is the time, if you have to ask Allah Ta'ala for any one thing, and you feel that there can be one moment in your whole life when your duas are going to be accepted, this is the time. This is the time. Just go out in the sun, stand in the sun, you raise your hands. Why? Prophet ﷺ raised his hand so much that his blessed armpit, you could see the brightness of his blessed armpits. So this is the sunnah way. Women don't need to do that. They raise their hands, make sure that your hijab is proper, right? And face the qibla, make dua. Absolute focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this dua, make sure that you make a plan for this dua, at least to ask for whatever number of time, more the better. And outside when you're making this dua, make dhikr, send the durood on the Prophet, do your muraqabah, whatever your ma'mulat, your azkar that you know of, do whatever. Do a lot of talbihah, But make sure that you spend some time in making of this dua standing. Alright? Subhanallah. And imagine this Arafah, there are millions of people. So the Hudayr bin Iyad rahmatullah alayhi once said on the plain of Arafah, he said that should this huge assembly of people come, if this assembly of people, all of these 4 million people, they come to a house of the most generous person and they ask, I want 1 cent, 1 penny, I want 1 pill. Will that generous person, reject their call? The people said no. They said that, I swear by Allah, that for Allah to forgive them all is much easier than for a generous person to grant them 1 penny. This is Allah. SubhanAllah. Everybody leaving all their dunya, all their worldly things. Everybody gathered there. Everybody raising their hand, asking Allah, Ya Allah. SubhanAllah. You think Allah Ta'ala will reject them? Certainly not. Don't forget me in your prayers as well in there, please. After sunset, after Maghrib, then people head towards Muzdalifah. But they do not pray Maghrib. Alright? So the only combination of prayer in the school of Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi are 2. One, if they are praying in Masjid Namra behind the Imam, then they combine Zuhr and Asr. And the second is, when they do not pray Maghrib in Arafat, they leave after sunset, no Maghrib though, and they go to Muzdalifah, and the Maghrib and the Isha are combined in Muzdalifah. While traveling, make zikr, talbiyah, very short distance, 8-9 kilometers, but subhanAllah, it can take you all night. Be patient. Okay, so at Muzdalifah, wait until the Isha enters, if you are lucky enough that you reach there before Isha time enters. Wait until the time of Isha, then pray the prayers in the following sequence. Call 1 adhan, 1 iqamah. No 2 adhan, no 2 iqamah. 1 adhan, 1 iqamah. Then we pray the Fard of Maghrib in congregation. Right? It's for men. Women can do their own. It's not an issue. But they have to combine. Fard of Maghrib. Then no sunnah of Maghrib. And then Fard of Isha without an additional iqamah. Alright? So they're combined with 1 iqamah. And then after that you pray sunnah of Maghrib. And then the sunnah of Isha. And then the witr. Alright? This should be the sequence. Even you're praying alone. If for some reason you are not able to reach Muzdalifah before dawn, that is the Fajr of next day starting, then just stop somewhere, ask the driver to stop somewhere, and he'll be anyway stopped. That's why you're not reaching there, right? So just get out of the bus, pray like wherever you are, even if it's not Muzdalifah. The night you spend in Muzdalifah, what you do is open space, no tents, nothing, only toilets. So what you do there is that you, after praying Maghrib and Isha, you collect pea-sized pebbles for pelting of the Jamarat the next day, next year or the next few days. So if you plan to leave on the 12th, that is leave Mina on the 12th, then you collect 49 pebbles for yourself, and everybody collects 49 each. I recommend you to collect maybe 5-6 more. And if you are planning to also pelt on the 13th, that's an option, then you collect 21 more. Okay? And this should be small, pea-sized, and should be pure, so that, after you collect them from Muzdalifah, that's a sunnah, and then you wash them, so that there's no najasa on that, no filth on that. And they can be collected from other areas as well, but the only place, as I said in the very beginning, the only place we should not collect it is the place of the Jamarat, basically where you felt the shaitan, so-called. Okay? And then spend the rest of the night in worship, rest, whatever. Okay, that's an open space, know that. There's no tents, nothing, you're in open space. So remain in Muzdalifah is a sunnah mu'akkida until the dawn. Okay, but the wuquf of the Muzdalifah is wajib. And wuquf of the Muzdalifah is after the dawn. Okay, so after the dawn, you have to stay in Muzdalifah for at least few moments. That's a wajib, that's mandatory. But it is not wajib for women if they fear crowds, and also it's not wajib for the sick and the disabled person. So if they come to Muzdalifah and they want to go directly to Mina without the wukuf after the dawn, it is okay, alright, for women and for sick people only. For men it's wajib. If the men miss it in their healthy state, then they have to sacrifice later on as a compensation. So you pray Fajr at the beginning of his time in Muzdalifah, alright, you pray Fajr after the dawn, and then you head towards Mina. You can read that. Okay, you head towards Mina just before sunrise. Leave for Mina. After reaching the Mina, there are 4 things that you have to do. This is the busiest of the days of the Hajj. Alright? The 4 things. Number 1, you pelt the large shaitan, which is al-jamarat. It's not actually shaitan. People get very crazy as if they're literally hitting the shaitan. It's not shaitan. It's a place, a jamarat. It's a place where shaitan came and tried to distract Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. And we do it, because Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam felt the stones on shaitan and it drowned into the earth. So we just follow sunnah because of the order of Allah. So you pelt only the large shaitan. So there are 3 jamarat. When I say shaitan, it's jamarat. Jamarat number 1, jamarat number 2, jamarat number 3. Right? So you pelt only the large shaitan, the number 3. You sacrifice an animal, you do your halaq or qasr, and you do your tawaf or ziyarah. There are 4 things that are, all of them are wajib, but not all of them are wajib to be done on the 10th though. What is wajib to be done on the 10th is the pelting of the large shaitan. Alright? And 1, 2 and 3 in this, which is pelting, sacrifice and halaq also must be performed in order. 4, the tawaf ziyarah can be done anywhere. Alright, so tawaf ziyarah can be done before sacrifice, it can be done before halaq, but sacrifice has to be done before halaq. And it's in the Hanafi school, by the way. I think Shafi school says the order can also be, order is not necessary, but I recommend that you keep the order. So what you do is you go, you pelt the large shaitan, and then you wait from the group leader that if he has sacrificed the animal. So if anybody comes from the group and tells you that they have sacrificed it, because they do it. I mean, normally that's what happens. You want to go do it yourself, it's up to you. But if the group does that for you, then you wait until they tell you it is done, and then you go and you cut your hair or you shave your head, and then you get out of the state of ihram, except one thing, and I'll tell you in a moment what. Alright? So this is the picture that I am showing here. This is the picture of the jamarat. So this is the place where pebbles are thrown at the pillars, walls. So now, mashallah, they have done they're very, very broad pillars. It used to be one small little thin pillar. And lots of stampedes happened in the past years. So they made it very wide, mashallah. And there are multiple levels. Alright, so it's easy now, mashallah, it's not difficult. A lot of crowd, but mashallah, the way that they have done that is mashallah pretty nice. Alright, so don't worry about that. So this is the jamarat. And this is, this is all one way. So when you're going, so the small jamarat comes first, and then the middle jamarat, medium jamarat, middle jamarat, whatever, and then the great one. So remember, first day, 10th, you have to only do the great jamarat. You don't do first, you don't do second, only the third. Remember that. The 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Alright? This is a satellite view, by the way. Okay? Just tell me if I'm going too slow, then I'll try to be a little fast. Inshallah, I'm skipping a lot of things now. Inshallah, please read. Alright? And again, this is actually the Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he hit the shaitan at these places, literally. Alright? And then, how to pelt the shaitan? Jamarat, whatever, it's the same thing. So on the first day is bid'ah to pelt the other shayateen. Alright? Only the large one. And the 7 pebbles are tossed at the shaitan. And it must be completed between the dawn of the 10th until the dawn of the 11th. But there are a few recommended times. Dawn to sunrise is makruh. Sunrise to zawal is sunnah, zawal to sunset is okay, and sunset to dawn is makruh. But for women, for sick people, for disabled people, there is no makruh time. They can go at their convenience. Alright? And basically, these days, the ulama have said that, there is no makruh time for anybody, basically, because of so many accidents that have happened in the past, although they've made it very, like they've redesigned it, mashallah. So to make sure that, that you try to do it, I would recommend you go between zawal and sunset. That's the best. Between zawal and sunset, go anytime, because the crowd has lessened. And it's easy, it's also mubah, it's not makruh as well, so do that at that time. If you're by yourself, no family, nothing, you then try to do it between sunrise to zawal, that's fine, it's sunnah. If you have family, take your family along with you, take your wife, take your daughters, whoever is with you, along with you, because everybody has to do their own. There's no proxy. Okay? There's no proxy for the pelting of the shaitan. Okay, the way that should be done is that you hold the pebble with your thumb and your index finger. You hold the pebble with your thumb and your index finger, face the wall, and literally throw it. And there is a circle around, or there is a ditch, I would say, around the jamarat. It has to fall in that ditch, okay? It has to fall in that ditch. And you pick it up, so you hold it with your thumb and your index finger, you raise your hand, ideally so much so that your armpit should be visible, and you say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar and throw it. It has to be thrown. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, throw it. So be as close to Jamara so that you are sure that it is actually falling into the ditch. It's a pretty wide ditch, so if it's hitting the wall fine, at least it has to fall into the ditch. That's necessary. And at least 4 out of the 7 pebbles have to fall into the ditch. This is necessary, okay? Must be. Ideally all of them should be. And if you're close enough, don't worry. Don't throw your sandals. Okay, people get really, shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Literally, people take their sandals and they throw as if like, mashallah. Huh? Yeah, they do crazy things. No, it's not shaitan. Alright, it's only jama'at, it's only a sign. And by the way, what we are doing with throwing of shaitan is we are saying to Allah, Ya Allah, he is my enemy, I'm showing my hatred for shaitan. That's what we are doing actually. Right? Alright, there is no dua after pelting the biggest shaitan. Know that, just a principle. After you pelt the bigger shaitan, whenever you do that, there is no dua after that. Okay? Alright, this is just another view, the way that they have bridges are all one way. MashaAllah, it's beautiful, you will know it. It's not, you don't have to learn it. You will automatically be with the flow. You will know all words, everything they tell you. Make sure you are pelting the biggest shaitan, the jamratul, the kubra, alright, the biggest shaitan, the biggest jamarat. After it's called, okay, this pelting of the shaitan is called rami. Okay, the terminology that's used is called rami. And after rami, you sacrifice an animal, as I said, that a group will do it, they may charge extra for that. And this sacrificing an animal is, remember it's 10th of Dhul Hijjah is the Eid day, so called. People who are not in Hajj, the biggest Eid for people of Hajj is the 9th, that's their Eid. For the people outside, the 10th is their Eid. But they sacrifice an animal, no, this sacrificing is not that sacrifice of the Eid. Know that. Remember that. It is not the sacrifice of the Eid. This is something called Dam Shukr. And this is only for the people who are doing Hajj Tamattu and Hajj Qiran. Basically the Hajj which has Umrah with that, this is only wajib for those people. And what is Dam Shukr is what you are telling Allah, Ya Allah, I am sacrificing an animal in my shukr to you and showing my gratefulness to you because you have given me tawfiq to do an extra worship which is the Umrah. For Hajj Ifrad, which is only Hajj, no Umrah, then people can do it, it's mustahab good, but people don't have to do this sacrifice. And remember that if people have enough money that they can afford another sacrifice, then they also have to do another sacrifice for their 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which is wajib on everybody who is Sahib Nisa. This is not the sacrifice of the Eid. That's all that I'm trying to tell you. There's an extra sacrifice for the people. Alright, and gold or a sheep that covers one person, cow or a camel, it covers 7 people. Well, Sahib Tartib is so basically, so who have done the Qurbani every year. Basically, they've done it, they've never missed that. Okay, so inshallah read that. It's also mustahab to eat from the meat. Nowadays, it's not possible. So read these slides, inshallah. So, sacrifice can be done anytime after Rami until the sunset of the 12th. Until the sunset of the 12th. So this is 10th, remember, right? But, according to the Hanafi school of thought, the halaq or the qasr cannot be done until the sacrifice is done. So must confirm that people have done sacrifice for you. If you cannot afford animals, then there's a compensation for that. Fast the 3 days before the day of Arafat and 7th after returning back home. It's in the Quran. So if you are not able, you are in certain situation, then consult your ulama, your scholars. Again, the hair can be removed by shaving or trimming, as I said before, the same thing. And now removal of the hair takes people out of the state of haram, so they can go and change back into their normal clothing, except one thing. And that is any sort of romance or marital relations are still not allowed between the husband and the wife. Alright, so every other thing is okay, fragrance, like cutting of the hair, nails, clipping, this, that, every other prohibition is lifted, except the romance. Alright? And then, people have to go to Makkah from Mina to perform a tawaf called Tawaf al-Ziyarah. This Tawaf al-Ziyarah is farz, it is mandatory, it is necessary. Alright? And the timing for it to be done is from the 10th to the sunset of 12th. So anytime you can go, if you can go on the 10th, good. And after people perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, then the final prohibition, which is the romance between the husband and the wife, any sort, is also lifted. That's lifted with Tawaf al-Ziyarah. Alright? Okay, this Tawaf al-Ziyarah is also followed by Sa'i, just like Umrah. Just imagine if you are doing Umrah. It's a similar thing, but with a difference that if you are still in Ihram, for example, they have not sacrificed your animal, you want to go and perform Tawaf al-Ziyarah, you're still in the clothing of Ihram, then you do exactly like the Umrah, right? Ramal, Istaba, followed by Sa'i. Same thing. Okay? Shaving of the head, remember, shaving of the head is only after the sacrifice. So it can be done before Tawaf al-Ziyarah as well. Right? So it's not Umrah, but it's very similar to Umrah. So then you come back after the Tawaf and the Sa'i, come back to Mina. It's sunnah to spend the night in Mina. Okay? So day 4, 11th of Dhul Hijjah. What you do is that what all is necessary is wajib to do Rami of all 3 Jamarat. Okay? All 3 Jamarat. Starting with the small, then the middle, then the biggest. Same way, alright? And after the small, you do the Rami of the small Jamara, you make dua. You do the middle Jamara, then you make dua. Then you do the large Jamara, no dua. Remember, no dua after last Jamara. Alright, same way, similar thing. Then stay in Mina. Day 12, exactly the same thing. The pelting of the 3 Jamaat. The rest of the time, make sure that you are engaged in your zikr, in your prayers, in your muraqabah, in your whatever you can do, your tilawah of the Quran. Just engage yourself in something that you connect you to Allah. Day 5, 12th of Dhul Hijjah. After you pelt the 3 Jamaat, now you have 2 choices. Either you can come back to Makkah, or you stay at Mina for the 13th to do one more set of Jamarat. Right? If you do not leave Mina on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah after sunset, until after sunset, then it is necessary for you to stay for the 13th as well. And 13th, the only thing that's prescribed is Rami, right? So you do the 3 Jamarat, and after the Jamarat, then the acts of Hajj are complete. Okay? And know one thing, that in these days of Hajj, Allah Ta'ala loves us to be at these places. So some people crave to be, I'm not in Masjid al-Haram, I can't see Kaaba, I cannot do Tawaf. No, it's not about what we want. It's about what Allah wants from us. So if Allah Ta'ala wants us to be at Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah, 3 days, stay there, do whatever you're supposed to do, then we want what Allah wants from us. Allah loves us more, we love this as well. It's not about what our nafs wants, it's about what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wants. Alright? So if you return to Makkah Mukarramah, if you're staying there after the Hajj, if you want to do other Umrahs, what you do is that there is a masjid called Masjid Aisha, which is right outside the boundary of the Haram. You can go there, get into the state of Haram, come back. It's like it's like 15-20 minutes drive, not far. Depends on the traffic. But you can go and do that if you want to. But it's not like it's all you do tawafs. And the last thing which is wajib for Hajj is called Tawaf al-Wida. Tawaf al-Wida means that you are saying farewell to Kaaba. And it can be done, this tawaf can be done any time after your Tawaf al-Ziyarah, even right after that. It doesn't have to be the last thing. It can be done any time. If somebody misses this tawaf, it will mandate a sacrifice on him. But this tawaf is waived from, if say for example women start menstruating right after the Tawaf al-Ziyarah, and until they're not going to be pure until their flight or leaving the Makkah Mukarramah, then the obligation is waived from them. But this tawaf is just a tawaf. There's no ramal, there's no sa'i, just a tawaf. Alright? Make sure it's wajib. Alright? So make sure that you plan properly, that you have to do that.
7 shots.
Sorry?
7 rounds?
7 rounds. Tawaf is 7 rounds. So when say tawaf means 7 rounds around the Kaaba. That is automatically what it means. Last thing that I want to go is a lot of things, but the necessary thing that I want to go over is are the things, what if we do some things wrong? What to do? You want a 5-minute break and then do it, or want to do and finish it? You tell me. I know that's too much. Ji? Okay, huh? Yeah, let's pray Asr. Okay, 10-minute break. And I just want to finish this, and inshallah rest you can read on your own. There are some historical places, the way that you should go and visit the Prophet ﷺ in Medina Munawwara. Everything that's written in slides, I'm not going to cover that, unfortunately, it's because of lack of time. But this is, I think, it's mandatory. It's good that we cover this portion. That's it. It will take me another maybe 15 minutes. Let's take a 10-minute break, pray Asr, inshallah, and then come back and finish this in another 15 minutes, and then inshallah we'll be done. Alright? 10-minute break, please. Jazakumullah. And then Q&A, question answers as well, inshallah. But question answers are, if people want to leave after that, they're free to leave. People can stay back whoever wants to listen to the question answers.